So maybe we should start. Is everyone okay with that? So thank you everyone for coming here at this session about the SCALD module. Today I will be talking about universal media management in Drupal with the SCALD module. I'm very proud to be a speaker at DrupalCon. It's the first time, so you will still hear my French accent. And I would like to thank the Murphy Law because this was supposed to be a connected session, but I've screencasted the demo, so everything will be okay, but it's a PDF, so no animated GIFs. Sorry about that. Maybe I should start by an introduction. So I'm Sylvain Moreau from France. I'm the CEO of OWS, www.ows.fr. We're a medium company, Drupal shop. We've been doing Drupal since 2006, since the 4.6 version. We are kind of experts in France. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, Slybud, and this is my Drupal.org user, and we are building big websites. Maybe we should introduce you too. So I guess you all know Drupal. I will make you raise the hand. Who has ever dealt with media management in Drupal? Cool. Who knows the SCALD module? Yeah, quite cool. And who has ever written a provider for SCALD? Yeah, 3 people, nice. So why I wanted that session to happen is because media management is in Drupal is really a big game. Dries talked about it in Portland, but it's now fully featured. I guess we all experience that. I wanted to say and describe what is a media asset. You will see that later. What do I mean by universal management? It's kind of pretentious, but it's really universal. And to show you some demo and to let you do that demo at home. So what we will be talking about is the history and adoption of a module, because it has a long history. So maybe it's a bit of context to understand that. Then I will talk about the basics of the module, and the third point is an important point, is the providers. That's what makes the richness of the SCALD module. And then we will see the advanced use. We have some new features since the last version, so it's really cool to see them. And then we talk about the roadmap of the module, the future, and the announcement. So SCALD was a module starting in 2008. At this time, there was a pre-alpha of Drupal 6, if I remember. It was started by a company in Chicago, which was called CTC, for the public radio of Chicago, which is Vocalo. And they had this need of having a media manager for the radio, so they developed it. And we, OWS, we were sent an RFP by Radio France, which is the French national radio with 10 channels. And they wanted to have to use Drupal, and they wanted to have a media manager. So we met in Szeged with CTC people, and we agreed to work together on that module. Unfortunately, this company was down because some people got depressed, and so it just shut down. And we had to continue to maintain that module because we wanted to use it. And we had the support from Radio France, our customer. The main objective was media management, because the Radio France had to handle thousands and thousands of media, and it also had to be usability, because when you deal with hundreds of journalists using your back office, you have to make things very simple to handle audio, video, and images. And Radio France wanted it to be a community solution, so they really insisted that it was a contributing module. So then we decided to port it in early 2012 because Radio France wanted to make the step to Drupal 7 for the site. And we released the stable version, or the dev version for 7 in April 2012. And now it's stable since April. To talk about the adoption and the adoption of the history of a module, in Drupal 6, there were very few users, but big ones. There were Radio France and some big media companies. Why this poor interest in the project? It was because it brought its own version of entity. So in Drupal 6, so at that time people didn't understand the concept behind that. In Drupal 6 you only add node, taxonomies, and users, and that's it. So SCALD had already rewritten the entity system, so it was a bit hard to understand at the time. Then there was this UX design from the Age of Stone. I will show you after. We did no community work at all. We just worked for our customer, so nobody knew it was a great module. And you had to be an expert to install that module. You can see there the old UI. It was not really compatible with French national radio needs. You see the small plus button. They were hard-coded like plus and a link to that. And you can see the icons. They're not really nice. And it was made by developers for developers. So what we decided is to really change the game in Drupal 7. And we decided to rewrite it, but based on entity, which is a mainstream concept in Drupal 7. I guess you all know entity. We also hired, or there was a UX designer that was really fond of SCALD, so she decided to participate, and there was a complete redesign of the UI and the UX. You can see the library, which looks really nicer now. And we also made some community work, like documentation. Now you have a strong documentation for that module. Communication, which is I'm doing right now. And issue queue, because now the issue queue is active in Drupal 7. So now who is using SCALD right now in Drupal 7? You have big media companies. You have TV channels, France Télévisions, Arte, which is French and German television, LCP, which is a French public television, Africa 24, African network. You have radios. You have Radio France, which is the historical user of SCALD. You have Radio Nova, which is really a cool radio in France with good music. You have newspapers, Le Figaro, which is one of the two most important newspapers in France. You have Santé Magazine, which is a monthly newspaper about health. You have institutions, like the French government, for some sites about the World War I. The British Council in the UK, the Opéra de Paris. And you also have, which is really important for us, Drupal integrators and editors like Commerce Guys. You all know Commerce Guys, they are sponsors. Smile, which is a big French integrator, and Code Enigma, which is a Drupal shop like OWS, but in the UK. And I want you to use SCALD because it's really nice, so I will show you just after. So here you can see some user testimonials coming from all around the world. This was supposed to be funny because it's an animated GIF, but it's not. And we won, all the SCALD team won the CMS Day Award in June for the best back office innovation in Paris, and we competed against many other CMSs, and we won this award. So it's really good thing happening for SCALD. As for the statistics, you can see that there's a big curve, and this snapshot is from 2 weeks, and I guess it's continuing to rise. And this GIF was supposed to be a Carlton dance from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's really important. Now I can show you some sites made with SCALD in Drupal 7. These examples are important because the companies behind these sites, they are not our customers, and they made some benchmarks comparing the main solutions with media management in Drupal 7. And all these people, they decided to pick up SCALD. So the first one is Commerce Guys. They made the Drupal Commerce Marketplace with SCALD. So if you go to that site, you can see the source code and see there's a lot of SCALD inside. And the one who picked up that was Bojan from Commerce Guys. Then you have Arte Creative, which is a site for creative people uploading their videos to Arte, which is the French-German TV channel. This is really a nice one because it's you can see it's flat design, but it's responsive, and it's responsive with video and images, and it extensively uses SCALD. And the people at Arte, they also decided to pick up SCALD when they made a benchmark, and they are migrating all their sites to Drupal plus SCALD. Then you have Le Figaro. And they made their website generator, which is called the Garden of the Figaro. When they want to generate a new site, they use this tool, and they included SCALD inside, so you can see the site from the Festival de Cannes, which was in May, and it also makes use of SCALD for managing the media. And inside the Figaro team, there was Yves Chedemois, Ished, which picked up this solution when he made the benchmark with all the Figaro team. So after this story, maybe I can tell you a little bit more about SCALD. So it's a universal media asset manager on Drupal. And when we mean universal, it's because when you think of media, you can think about images, videos, and sounds, and files. But for SCALD, it's more than that. A tweet is a media. There is no file for a tweet. A Facebook status is a media. A blog, a Drupal blog is a media. A commerce product is a media. Everything is an asset. And so that's why it's universal, because you can extend it the way you want it. So with SCALD, you can use and reuse, that means share, by users, all of these assets. And the UX has to be very simple, so it's by using drag and drop into standard Drupal objects. So that means nodes, entities, taxonomies, users, whatever is an object and is fieldable in Drupal, you can use SCALD with. It also works with blocks. And for that, there is a unique UI for search and share and create. You can say it's a bit of deja vu. We have media. Yeah, it's kind of media, but it's a very different approach, because media is file-centric. Media makes the assumption that every file is media, and we do not with SCALD, and we have a different history, so it's not really the same, but it does the same job. So to start with, there is the main concept is the media atom. So it's a single digital asset. It has a type. There's a missing bullet point. It has a type, so it can be a video, it can be a file, it can be an audio, it can be an image. And it also has a provider. So the main obvious provider is a file. You upload an image, but it can be an external source. For an image, for example, it can be Flickr. You want to get that to include an image from Flickr, and this is a media atom of type image coming from the provider Flickr. So every atom has a thumbnail, because it's very important for the back office user to identify its atom. It has also an offer system. Every atom has an offer, which is a taxonomy. It has tags, which is very helpful to browse millions or thousands of medias. It's a D7 entity. I've already said that. So that means it's fieldable. So you can extend your atom, providing these basic fields, with any field of a field API you can be thinking of. So there can be maybe a Gmap on an atom. It's possible. You can store latitude and longitude. It has a CRUD system. It has a built-in CRUD system, because it's important to be able to finally manage media when some people have access to media, or when you must shut down access to media after a period, like 30 days for some images. And also it has a cache system, so it can handle big media sites. Otherwise, it couldn't. So the main thing showing media atoms in the back office is the media library. So it's a unique UI to search, create, and also use and reuse the media atoms. And the great thing is that it's a view. So if you're a Drupal site builder, you can extend it, you can customize it, and you have infinite possibilities. And maybe a demo is better at this point, so I will show you a screencast about the library. So this is just a simply test instance. You have one node, so you can go and edit it. And you can see the library on the right side of the screen. So there are two panels in the library. You can see the medias that are in your libraries. You can see there are small icons for types. And then you can search them with the second panel. So you can filter by any type. And as I said before, this is a view. So you can add an expose filter if you have any other fields. And then you can filter by the author, which is a taxonomy. So you have the autocomplete there if you go to Vivo. And it also allows you to search, but also to create, just right from the same place. So here you have the example of the creation of a video. You can choose between different providers. So I will show you that later. Then you can also create images. These are the different type of medias you can create, and you can add more. So it's really simple. It also works with drag and drop. We'll see that just in another screencast. And then there are these offers and tags, and you get immediately your created media into the library. So it's very simple, and it appears on every form that is using SCALD. So how can you use these atoms? Because I've shown you how to create them, how to search them, how to see them. The first field that is provided with SCALD is called atom reference. So it's a simple field where a user can drag and drop media atoms, any kind of atoms. So it's the same that in D6 there was user and node reference. In D7 we have that, and plus entity reference or product reference for products in Drupal Commerce. It's the same but with atoms. So you can also reference different type of atoms. You can limit them, or you can just allow any type of atom to be drag and dropped. So a simple use case of that would be a video wall or a multimedia gallery. There is a SCALD gallery module, which is really nice and has much more feature than a simple gallery. So you can try that. And maybe I can show you how it works on a Commerce Kickstart instance. If you want to add SCALD, it's really simple. So again, sorry for switches. It was supposed to be on Google. Okay. So this is really the Murphy law, you know. So we go. So here we have Drupal Commerce instance. I've seen, and I guess you've already seen that site. So now we go to the content type. We've already added an atom reference field. You can see it here. So maybe you can see how the properties works. So it's really just a field, and you can limit the type of atoms that you want to add, and then it's just set up. So it's really adding a field, and then if you go to a blog post, which was our content type, you just edit it. You have your regular node edition form. And then you have this atom reference just right here, and you can get any media from the library. I've limited to video, so if you drag and drop images, it won't work. And then you can add any media you want, and you can also preview them in the field. So that's a bit of what Dries showed about the simplicity of the UI in Drupal 8. It's on the same thing. And then you can reorder it. So if you just save your node, you have your video wall over. It's not themed, it's very basic, but it takes 2 minutes to implement your video wall. And it can also be a multimedia wall if you want to mix between images and videos and Flash, anything you want. Okay. So this was the first thing, and the most important thing, I guess, that contributors like very much is the WYSIWYG integration. So you've seen it working with the field, but it works with any text area which is enabled for SCALD. So it's just a checkbox to check. It works with the main RTEs in Drupal 7. That is with a WYSIWYG module. So it can be TinyMCE, CKEditor, or Aloha, or whatever. But I would advise you to use CKEditor because now it's in core, Drupal 8. And it has a different way, a technical way of attaching JavaScript, which works much better with SCALD. So there is a more advanced integration with CKEditor. Right now we are working on CKEditor with SCALD because it will be in core in Drupal 8 and it has all the features that enables SCALD power. So maybe I can show you a screencast about that. About the basic drag and drop use into text area. Switch again. So this is a website we are about to release next week. It's accessible. So you can edit any page you want, just like you would do in Drupal. And here you are in the node editing page. You can see that the body, you can see the library coming. It has only 2 types of medias, 3 types, videos, images, and PDF. And this one is an existing node, so I won't break the thing and add another page. And then into the body, which is enabled for SCALD, you can just write your text, get some image, drag and drop it, and that's it. And you can also do it with a PDF file from your library. This customer has the need to embed many PDF files. So this is it, you have your PDF file into your text area. After that, I will show you more advanced use, what you can do about media that you have already drag and dropped in the text area. But this is the basic use, and it suits 90% of your regular customer needs. So the most important thing after the basic are the providers in SCALD. That's what makes the richness of the module. So we worked very much on providers, and people from around the world, they also worked on providers. So this was supposed to be a funny GIF. The woman opens the closet and everything falls on her. That means there are many providers. So you have a list on that Drupal page, you can go there. The existing ones are very various. So you have all the video ones, I will show you in the next slide. You have the sound ones, so the file is the most obvious one, but you can import sounds from SoundCloud. For medias, it's very important. You have images from a file, but also from Flickr, from Instagram, what you want. You have social providers. You have commerce providers. You can just drag and drop products into your Drupal content. You have Drupal objects, which is really interesting. These are sandboxes, but it works. So you can drag and drop blocks with the bin module. You can drag and drop views which allows your contributors to find any view and drag and drop it. You can drag and drop rich media like galleries, so you can embed many galleries into a gallery. It's kind of recursive. You have exotic one like data wrapper, which can embed graphs, which is really nice. You can embed slideshares, like this presentation, into a node. And there is the regular content ones like file or PDFs and custom text. Why there are so many providers? It's because it's very simple and documented API. So it's very easy to work with for developers, but also for people who are like me, between developers and site builders. You can write a provider in half a day or 1 day. So it's very easy. You have examples, extended examples. So if there is a provider that you think of that there is not there, you should try because it's very easy. For the video example, if we focus on the video, the existing one are YouTube. So you just copy and paste a YouTube URL, and then it's done, and you get all the information from YouTube, and you have your video inside your library. Same for Vimeo. Dailymotion is the same, but it has an extra feature, which is important. You can subscribe to keywords or user channels on Dailymotion, and then when you run the cron job, every new video about this topic, about this user, or from this user gets imported into your library. So for media, if he has a Dailymotion or YouTube channel, all of the journalists, they can use the videos from the morning. They can use it in their article just 5 minutes after. Then you have embed.ly, which is like one provider to rule them all, because it opens you to more than 200 providers, like Google Maps or Preview or any exotic providers. So it's really nice and it works. And then you have all these proprietary video providers, professional ones, and these are used only by big customers, but it can fit your needs or the need of your customers. And then you have the last one, which is the most obvious one, which is VideoFile plus JS Player, but then you will have to handle all the encoding and broadcasting and player, and usually you don't want to do that, only for small sites. But if you're on big media sites, you use professional video services. Then we can talk about advanced use. So first, many of the demos that you've seen, they were made on simplytest.me. Who knows simplytest.me around here? Cool. So you have a distribution which is called SCALD Galaxy, and you can install it on simplytest.me. It takes 2 minutes. And you have a full loaded SCALD site running with all the latest releases of SCALD and the contributing modules. So you can try, you can test, you can drag and drop, create, extend the field. There is already some content type, but you can try. And if you're registered on simplytest.me, you have 3 hours, so you can play a lot. Since the 1.1 version, which was in July, we've worked on more CK editor integration. So we have some nice cool features, which are context change. Context change is when you drag and drop an image and you want it to change because the image is too small, so it has to be medium. And because the video player is not the one you want, maybe you like a smaller one, or because the audio player, you have 3 formats, and depending on the content type you use, you want to change them. There is this legend, so any media comes with a legend, and it's important for a newspaper. So there is a default one, but you can change it. There is this alignment fixing. You can also link your media to another site, and you can also cut and paste into the text area. So I will show you that. So this is the editing of a regular node. So we have our library, same set that we saw just a few minutes ago. So this is the regular image size. But if you want to go back to the original size image, you just right-click, edit add-on properties, and then it's done. You have a regular image size. And you can do that with many contexts, as long as you have defined context for your media. So there is also this legend editing, because when you drag and drop an image, you have a legend. Just here it's a default theme, but you can define a theme for any media for representing the legend, and you can edit it. So let's go. It's always with a right click into CK editor, and you just don't want a legend, and you don't have a legend. There is also the alignment. So these are really simple examples. You can extend it the way you want, because you have different type of medias and different type of properties. Now we can center our image. We can also link. So this is, I will make a link to www.ows.fr, which is our new site. You should go to it. It's responsive. And then you have something very simple, but for editors in Simpleton, it's the cut and paste. And it just works in CK editor. So you have all these extra features bundled into CK editor integration, and that's why we are more and more working on CK editor, because it allows SCALD to do that. And the last part is the magical use. So this was also an animated GIF, but anyway, it doesn't work. There was work done on Drupal 8. Dries told us about UX and offering experience. At first, it was called Spark, because it was this movement trying to improve the UX. So we decided in the SCALD module to take advantage of that and work with the Spark team, with the core maintainers and with Acquia on that. We've worked on many aspects. The most obvious one is inline editing. It was in Dries' keynote this morning, the inline editing stuff. And SCALD in Drupal 7, it already works. You have to install the edit module, which is a backport from the Drupal 8 features, and it works. I will show you. We add drag and drop on the output when you use media, but many people ask for the drag and drop on the input. So we worked on the PL upload integration, just the one, exactly the one you saw for the file or image this morning. So editors can just drag and drop a bunch of files into SCALD. And there is also the responsive integration, because everything now goes responsive and mobile. So with the picture.js module, there is an integration with SCALD, and you can handle all your image styles just by drag and dropping one and define your styles for the breakpoint. So demo time. So this is a bare simply test instance. Maybe it's gone too fast, so I will show you again. So you click on Quick Edit here, and this is the inline edit part. And you have a library, just like in regular editing. You can drag and drop an image, and you save, and it's done. You've updated your node with media. So it works with videos, images. Then there is this PL upload thing. So you have your library right there. You must add image, so you can bulk add image. You just drag and drop. You can notice that you can bulk add offers and tags. That means you won't have to input them for your 10 medias or your 20 or your 100 of medias after that. So it's just one form to rule them all. But it's only pre-fill, because if you go to the next step, just after you've uploaded your media, you have all, I guess it's 7 on this example, all the 7 examples with the default offer and tags you've updated it, and it's done. and then you go to library, and you have all your 7 new medias here. And the last thing is the responsive integration. So this is also a bare install of SCALD, configured with image tiles and breakpoints, and you can see it's working. And this media was just drag and drop into the text area. So nothing to do for the editor in the back office, just drag and drop, and he doesn't have to care about the breakpoints and the image formats. So maybe if you want to start, after this session, where to start, you have a core module. The main page is well documented. It links you towards all these examples that you can see. It links you towards the provider list, which is updated really often. It leads you to the installation profile. So you can play on simplytest.me. Just try it. You can try it. Just write now the Wi-Fi comes back in DrupalCon. And it takes 2 minutes, and you can start to play. And if you catch me later in the conference, you can ask questions. There is extended documentation listed here, and there are some screencasts about some very basic aspects of SCALD. But if you want an introduction to that, you can do that. I have to warn you, it's in French. No, it's in English, but it's a French accent, so it's the same. So if you didn't like it at this session, don't go there. As for the roadmap, then again, it's an animated GIF. It's Chuck Norris using a blade and stopping it with his hand. It's a Chuck Norris thing. The roadmap is clearly aimed on providing more providers because it's what people want and people use. So we are making more providers, and people around the world are contributing to making more providers. We do regular code sprints around SCALD. So if you want to be involved in one, it's on French time, just get in touch with me. It can be remote code sprints. It can be documentation sprint. It can be screencast sprint or design. We have designers coming to this sprint. So if you want to get involved, just get in touch with me or any other maintainer who will get you in. The community is growing, so we'd like to support that. That's why we are doing this session and these presentations. The issue queue is really, really active, so we have to handle it, and there are more and more bugs getting bashed. We are aiming to a 1.2 release. There will be few improvements, but good improvements. So there will be a new logo because the actual one is kind of geeky. So there is a designer working on that. Most important thing is that there has been some iterations about UI and UX, which are coming to the next version, and the library that you've seen, it's already outdated, and we've worked more on the ergonomics, and it's going to be released in 1.2. And we are also aiming to have a media center, because you've seen the library. So for many editors, it's useful. But a media center, which is a page listing and allowing you to edit and search and do what you can do with library, but on a media center would be a really good thing. It has been asked for by many. And we're going to port it to Drupal 8. So as Dries said this morning, we'll have to wait early 2014. But it's a goal, because it's really nice module, and we have more and more users, so I think that it will be naturally ported to Drupal 8. And then finally, word domination, but you all know that. So as for the community, as I said before, it's open to contributors. Just jump in, it's like Drupal. It's like any Drupal project. We have and we need providers and patchers and committers from all around the world. We already have some people from France, Germany, Spain, all over Europe, the US, and even Africa. So it's really cool. It's a nice community. We have an active and a very reactive issue queue. So feel free to jump in and provide us with bugs or slash some bugs and commit some patches. And we also need more and more user feedback and use cases, because it's really what matters. SCALD is designed to respond to the user needs. So if you have needs and feedback, just build free. So it's up to you now. And that's it. And if you have any question, or it's the time to ask them, and you have a mic for that, just in the middle of a room. Thank you. Yes.
One question, how does it scale? What happens when you have 100,000 or several hundred thousand media?
There are two things. The first thing, it has a cache system, so it just scales like other Drupal site. You have to build cache strategies above that, but as long as there is a cache system integrated, you have the ability to extend that. And when you deal with large amount of files, like media, there are some strategies to build, like the most obvious one, transliteration. But you also have to make tokens for your file field path, because when you upload 1,000 of medias, usually when you're a beginner, you do that in the same directory and it explodes. So you can do that, but it's more a file management in Drupal issue than a SCALD issue. And then again, you have a CRUD system, you have a cache system, it's entity, so you can use entity cache and all that stuff. So it's really scalable the way Drupal scales. Any other question? Yeah.
Does the module handle the embedded metadata, like EXIF or things like that?
Yes, there is. In your example, EXIF metadata, there is a module called SCALD Extra or SCALD Extra Data, which does the job for you. You just enable it and you get all the EXIF stuff right into your media atom. But as I said before, an atom is an entity. So if you want, and there is an API, so if you want to add extra fields to any entity type, like an image, you add these EXIF fields, and then you can make a hook to just fill them. That's what does the SCALD Extra module. But you can do it for MP3, you can do it for any type of media you can think of. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Yes?
Is it possible to convert images automatically?
To convert? I didn't hear the...
Convert images, like if I would upload a JPEG file, convert it to GIF or something else?
Yes, because when you upload an image media, when you drag and drop it, when you use it anywhere, you use it in a context. As I said, there is this context stuff, and this context use players, so you can have different players, and for images, the players are image styles. So if you work with image styles, you can definitely use some image style module to convert JPEG into GIF, or it's Image Magic or a JD2 library that does that, but you have image style which does that for you above the library. Yes?
Accessible is the SCALD tool, because I saw a lot of drag and drop which can be used.
Yeah, really we have not yet worked on the accessible thing. The site that you saw is accessible on the front end, but on the back end it's really, really difficult. So I guess it's 50% accessible, and it doesn't handle all the cases because it makes a lot of use of JavaScript. So we haven't worked on accessible on the back end. Yes?
How does it work with social media content, Twitter or Facebook posts?
For Twitter, you just paste the URL from a tweet, and it just imports the tweet, the picture of the user, and the time of the tweet and metadata like that, and you can embed the tweet into an article. And for Facebook, it's only Facebook statuses. So you find your user and you embed its statuses, and it gets updated into your content. And you can imagine of providing more social providers. It's only you plug into their API and you just transform it into atoms. Yes.
Do you edit your alt and title attributes with your image atoms?
The alt and title, there is the title attribute. It comes from the title of the atom. It's this mapping, and the alt. I think there's an issue open for that. Right now, we don't have the metadata for the alt. Yes.
Are you able to overwrite them on a use case? So every instance of it within a node can have different metadata.
I didn't understand the question.
Are you able to overwrite the metadata when you embed it in the node? So it's different from the library version.
What you embed in the node is really a markup. And it's regenerated when you edit the node, but it's regenerated when you see the node. So we do not embed metadata where they are stored into the entity. And if you want to change them, you edit the entity. And then you can theme the way you want your entity with all these metadatas because they come with that. I saw a question.
You mentioned the similarity to the media module. Is there any work on integrating the two, or?
There were some issues in the two issue queues, but right now we have two different approaches, and they are not really mergeable. You know, media is based on file entity, and I guess it will always be because there is a lot of work done on file entity, and SCALD is not based on that. It's a tweet is not a file, so you can spoof it. That's what does media for videos coming from YouTube. You know, it defines false headers and false metadata to say it's a file. And we didn't make this choice, but the main obvious merging point would be the library, because the library is very ergonomic, and I think it would also suit the media needs. So we are working with the media team to maybe merge efforts on that. But it's the most obvious merging point. But the other things, they are more difficult. Yes?
On the point of merging, have you looked at the asset module, which has a very similar interface?
Yes, I think that the asset module has very much looked at us also, because at first, if you see the story of the module, there was no library, and now there is this new shiny library, which is almost the same. So they looked at us. There was a plan at first to work together, but when we saw that this library was used on asset, it's very similar, but asset, it doesn't have a cache system. It does not use the same mechanisms. That means in asset you can inject some JavaScript. It does allow confidence to the back office user. And SCALD is not about that. It's about generating some markup based on atom types and cache and things like that. Yes?
Possible to create like gallery of photo, video, the same playlist?
I don't hear you. Maybe you should pick the mic. I don't hear you.
Is it possible to create a sort of gallery with image, video, like a playlist, in order and make this, for example, for the imaging, I think it's more important to have metadata, no? Or a gallery made it expo better, no?
That's what the SCALD gallery module does. It allows you to create very rich galleries, allowing you to mix videos, images, and other atoms you want, and you can define context for them, and you can have responsive galleries, and there is a UI, improved UI for managing your galleries, and you can define your metadatas by atom types, if that's what your question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yes?
Do you handle multilingual assets?
It's made, every atom is an entity, so we use entity translation. It's the way to do that. Yes. Justin, yes?
Does SCALD support cropping of images?
No. It supports cropping if you want to use an image field crop module when you input the original image, but you cannot recrop an image when it's done. So you have to consider that a cropped image is another version of image. But we're working because we are working on that because there is a need for cropped image. But it's a discussion where if you edit an existing image that is already used in some context and that you edit it and you crop it, what has to be done with the existing instance of the image? They don't want to be cropped, so you won't be able to regenerate the cache, and so we must consider that a cropped image is a new version of an image. But we are working on a UI to do that. Yes?
Does it integrate with the video module where you have multiple transcoding jobs?
I think it should, but it's...
Repeat the question, we cannot hear it. Can you repeat the question there?
yes, I'm sorry. Does it integrate with the video module, which allows you to transcode and do everything with video? I think you can take code from that and maybe find some integration, but I think we should work on a provider with functionalities of the video module. But it's really different because if you want to use these videos, after they are uploaded, you have to define some transcoders and you have to design some players, and so it's more a SCALD module than an integration with video. I think it won't work natively. Any other question? Yes? I can hear you, but you...
For maybe a simple question, but what if I have 100,000 files already in my site, and on Monday I go back to my office and want to install SCALD? Is it, push the button and it works, or?
It's not as simple as pushing a button, but it's as simple as studying some very basic SCALD module, like a file module, because there is a file module for SCALD, and writing a migrate class to import that. So I think for a good developer it will take Monday and Tuesday, and then it will take 2 weeks of testing and all that stuff. But but yeah, you can do it. Some people have migrated big files to SCALD, but it's much a migrate process. You just have to make the good modelization about these files, because some files are videos, some files are images. So it's really up to you, the content of your hundreds or thousands of files, and you have to map them very carefully. And after that, you can use them whenever you want. Yes?
Experience in using the private file system?
It was not usable since the 1.1 version. Now it's the case. Am I wrong? I am. No, yeah, now you can use the private file system. We do not have enough user feedback on big systems, but it works, and there was no regression that showed up in the issue queue, so I do not personally have experience with a private file system, but now it works. And it also works with tricky cases like media stored in HTTP and HTTPS and some reverse proxies and some CDN, so these use cases are already covered, because big media companies, they always have these problems. So any remaining question, maybe? Yes?
Do you have to use the widget on the right that comes out, or can you use more standard methods of browsing?
No, you don't, because it's an extension of SCALD, which is called the media library, and then into the text area you have it's called the multimedia editorial element to see what I've done. But you can enable this and maybe not show it. It's a configuration, and you can insert some markup with a plugin that you would write for a CK editor. We are also working on something that would be nice, would be a CK editor plugin, where you just click insert a media, it opens a model frame, and then you search through a media center, and you just click, and then you just insert. And this is the media center I was talking about. Any remaining question? That's a nice question, by the way. Okay, so feel free to come and ask questions anytime you want in the DrupalCon. You have some maintainers of SCALD right here, so if I'm not able to answer your question, I will get you in touch with them and to find any question, and just try it on simplytest.me. It only takes 2 minutes and you will be able to play with whatever you want. So thank you very much for coming to this session.